Hey family, happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well. I slept amazing last night, so there's that. I there's something that's been in my spirit since all day yesterday and into this morning. So here we are. Um this test that we have in life is a little easier than we think it is. It's not fill in the blank. It's not multiple choice. It is more like a true false test, true or false. You got two choices. And a lot of times we choose the wrong choice. But there is literally, are you going to pick truth or are you going to pick false? Now, here's the thing. Within the false, there is multiple choices within that. There's multiple choices. In truth, you only got one truth. That's Jesus. One truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. One truth. But in the false, you have so many different options to choose from. Let's start with religion. You have Mormon, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, Buddha, New Age, Islam, so many thousands. I literally have a book, a huge book that has thousands of religions in them, but there's only one truth, only one, like literally only one out of the millions of false. Let's go with gender. Male and female, one and two. There's only two. But when you go into the false, you got the cisgenders, the binaries, the this and that. There's so many to choose from. You can be whoever you want to be. You can go to whoever religion you want to go to. Let's go with thoughts. Like, there's only one truth. God takes care of you. You're going to be okay. God is with you. Even though there's multiple truths. But in the false, you think of all these narratives. I'm going to lose my job. And then this is going to happen. Then that is going to happen. Then I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There's so many false thoughts in the false. But if you hold on to the truth, I'm okay. Whatever that looks like, I'm going to be okay. Whatever that looks like, whether I get into this school or not, whether this happens for me or not, I'm going to be okay. That's the truth. So I was reading in Matthew 7, and it talks about the narrow gate and the wide gate. There's only two. Choose. There's only two. There's only two options. And the narrow gate leads to life, while the broad gate leads to, well, it's called the straight gate. It's interchangeable, but let's say the straight gate leads to life, and it talks about the wide gate, the broad gate leads to destruction. That word leads, the root of that word is to lead away from. So either you're being led away from the truth, or you're being led away from the false things of life. So if I'm going down a narrow path, I'm being led away from all these false narratives, all these false beliefs and things that people made up. But if I am going down the wide way, I'm being led away from the truth. And that word narrow is interchanged with difficult. But it talks about, that definition means to like press, to press against. And when you're on the narrow path, it's narrow because you don't have all this space to make up your own narrative and to do everything you want to do. Your flesh does not have space to be free to do what it wants to do. Our freedom is in Christ. Our freedom is in the boundaries that the narrow gate has for us, like that narrow path. That's where our freedom is. We're not free to do whatever we want, because that's actually bondage. Even though we say it's freedom, I'm free to do this, I'm free to do that, technically you're bound to that thing, because you can't even lay it down if you wanted to, because it has you. But that narrow space, there's no space for your flesh to roam free. Like, there's only truth. There's only room for truth. So I just pray that helps anyone out there that is holding on to fleshly things, not wanting to let go, not wanting to live within the boundaries of freedom, because freedom has boundaries. The games that you play has boundaries. The sports that you play, they have boundaries and rules. But we don't want to have that in our life, or in our spirituality, or our relationships. We want to, have multiple partners. We want to do what we want to do when we want to go. We want to commit adultery. We want to do what our flesh wants to do. But on a narrow path, there are boundaries that you have to stick to, and that's true freedom. That's real freedom that leads to life, an abundant life. There is so many choices. Literally, in the Garden of Eden, they had one false. Like, don't touch this. One thing you can't touch. And there was a multitude of vegetation for them to choose from. But now, thousands of years later, there is so much false to choose from that it looks like truth is nowhere to be found. False has literally looks like it's dominating over the truth, but we all know that is not true. God wins every time. He knows the beginning and the end, and he wins in the end. So I just pray that you choose the right team, that you choose the right gate, that you choose the right beliefs, that you choose the right truth, and stick with it, because it can be difficult. It may seem like you're pressing up against these walls or boundaries, like you can't bust out, but it's beautiful, and it's freedom, and it's peaceful, it's joyful. Yes, your soul, your flesh will be afflicted, but it would eventually get to a place where, like, man, this is real life. This is true life, and nothing compares to it when you be with God. And it's not about the rules. It's about the relationship that you have with God, the time you spend with him, the time you dwell with him. That's what it's about. So I pray that this helps you, that this helps someone, and that you have a great, great, great weekend with God. Love you.